this is a basic rule to logic and reasoning. A very basic, 101, is if something is true, then the opposite of it must be false. And it will force you to examine the other side. Very simple. Now, there was a lot of talk about Paddy the Baddy as soon as his fight done with Truck Gordon. About Paddy specifically, though, he lost that fight. Not only did he lose that fight, him grabbing the microphone with Joe Rogan and proclaiming, I won all of the rounds. I actually didn't hurt, and it wasn't even a hard match. Dropped his stock. It hurt him. It made him from beloved to hated overnight. Now, that was a hard thing for me to see because it was so obviously not. It was so wildly obviously not true. There is an actual scientific metric to know which athlete on a card stock went up the most. It's after the card, not before it. Not before it. You check the headlines after it. And you see which athlete for that performance got the most media after the fight. It's very hard to do. You will have the post-fight press conference on Saturday. You will travel on Sunday. Thanks to guys like Luke Thomas and Errol Hawani, you will then have Monday. Now, most guys are tired and haggard and can't get a spot on the show anyway, but it does exist. By Tuesday, the cycle has now moved on as to what's coming up the following weekend. So when you have a guy like Paddy that's got us over here discussing it now, this fight was so long ago, I can't remember. I know Paddy was not the main event. I could not produce the main event for you right now. I ended up being a really loaded and stacked card. I can't tell you one other match that it had. I'm not trying to be funny. If you gave me a minute and said focus, I'm good at it, and I could. But I'm being real literal with you right now. I don't know anybody else that fought that night. I remember that night pretty well. I remember the judging controversy, and right? I mean, we heard all of these different things. Without question, Paddy won. Of anybody that was on the card that night that was not a main event. Okay? So now what everybody's trying to do is to propel their positioning on the card. Of anybody that fought that night that was not in the main event, who is most likely to be a main event in their next contest? And it doesn't mean they will be, I'm sure. But who is most likely? It's Paddy the Baddy, not maybe. This isn't maybe. This is scientific when I tell you about the data. It's a very sophisticated measurement within our very unsophisticated sport of cage fighting. But it will work every time. Michael Bisping was bringing up that Paddy the Baddy could have done things differently, that he didn't play that right, that he cost himself fans, that he made people hate him. This is what Michael Bisping said. Michael Bisping's never wrong. You gotta search to critique an opinion of the count. You really do. Couldn't be more wrong. This one. And it's very simple. You just ask the other side of the coin. If he shouldn't have done what he did, if that was wrong, then let's look at what the other option would have been. I lost the fight. I guess you would have Paddy the Baddy do what Jan Blachowicz did and say, I lost the fight. Give him the belt. I don't know if I lost, but I know I didn't win. That would be the other side of the coin. So if you're saying that Paddy handled it wrong, then by basic deduction of reasoning, the other side of the coin would have to be right. So that's what Paddy did. He grabbed the mic with Rogue. He said, man, that guy's better than me. He beat me. I don't know how these three judges, wasn't even a split decision. Goddamn, it was a unanimous. One judge thought I won every round. I mean, I guess that's what you would do. You would do the opposite. But can you see where that wouldn't work? And if you can't see where that wouldn't work, like if you don't have that ability to close your eyes and have what we call a mind's eye and see something, then don't. I'll just show you because it happened and it was Blachowicz. Do you believe that Blachowicz is in a better spot career-wise and popularity-wise than Paddy the Baddy is right now? Because they both had highly controversial decisions and one handled it the way Paddy had and one did the Blachowicz. I'm not giving him a hard time. I'm telling you, those are the juxtapositions.